Morning all. Sorry about the classic Fran delay, but hope you guys are doing well in general. Um, Obviously, I made my free transfer earlier this week, and it is what it is. Have a team without Lamptey, who probably is going to start versus Everton, or at least I think feature on the bench. It wasn't a good fixture, anyways. I think Everton away. We look at Everton. And maybe traditionally think they're an awful team, given the fact that they were obviously close to relegation the last 2 years. But this season they've been a genuinely good attacking team, and wouldn't actually want to have played Lamptey this week. So yeah, it is what it is. Um, let's go answer some questions in the chat. JP, just to start with, who to start out of Gabriel, Lascelles, Maguire? I'd probably reluctantly start Maguire. I mean, I'm thinking hopefully that Newcastle game will be both teams to score. Also, but just if you look at the clean sheet odds, it's not particularly good. So yeah, Soldier Boy says start one, Gabriel, Burn, Taylor. Yeah, I mean, I might just back either Burn or Taylor there. I do like to, especially when the games are quite contested in terms of, let's say, expectations. I do like the idea of just simply going with the home team at times. So if you kind of remember Man City versus Arsenal, probably a decent time to play Saliba if you absolutely have to. And it's not the best week, obviously, to play Burn, but yeah, I mean, I'd probably just about play Burn, um, especially since, well, I mean, with Taylor as well, the issue, I suppose, is whether you think that he's guaranteed to start, and highly unlikely, I think, that he is going to do well anyways, because unfortunately, Burnley are quite an awful team. So yeah, I mean, I think it's all close between them, right? The clean sheet odds, I believe, are just about the same. Taylor scoring a goal is a very rare chance. I think, if anything, the one who actually has chances to get onto, let's say, the score sheet is probably going to be Gabriel because of his sort of prowess. I think actually Arsenal are expected to get to be the favorites, so their clean sheet odds are just about a bit higher. It depends on what you think really is going to happen in that game. Yeah, and then Burnley as well. I believe they've got. I think they've actually got good clean sheet odds as well. I'd probably play. I think I like the idea of playing Burn over Gabriel just to back the home team, but then I might actually play Taylor and just punt against Crystal Palace. But Eze is back as well, so that's something to think about. Aman, you said you've unfortunately activated my free hit. I mean, what do you get a free hit with? I'm actually quite curious if you let me know what your team is. Who would sell to get Simicast out of Poro trips? I'd probably go out of Trippier. I know it feels wrong because Trippier technically has a better fixture next week, and also you could argue even has a better fixture this one, just because Trippier is a better pick in general than Porro. But what I would say about, let's say, Porro, for example, is that he doesn't cost as much, and maybe you just like to save up the money and see what that can do for you going forward. So I'd probably go out of Trippier, and that can actually hopefully enable you to make some better moves in maybe the midfield position. Because the way I see it, Trippier doesn't really have good fixtures except for the Bournemouth game until really game week 17. So why not just sort of enjoy some of the midfielders for the time being? Foden 1 week punt. I think that's a fantastic move. I think Foden this week is definitely a good move, and definitely a move that I would have liked to have done if I obviously was in a luxury position, but I'm not. So yeah. Um, Someone's put Johnston, Guehi, Simicast, Diaby, and Bumo, Son, Salah, Nunez, Haaland, Alvarez. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that team can go wrong. Really, I don't think it can go wrong. You've already got Triple City. That's the way to go. And Bumo, that's the way to go. Yeah, I actually think your team's lovely, so good luck with that team. Deepak says he's got one free transfer, 2.8 in the bank, Shar and Douglas Luiz. I'd probably take out Shar. Um, just going to prioritize some of the member questions. Nice to see you around, Henry. Nice to see you around, Ben Taylor. And BL says, hi, Fran, need to start two of Poro, Dallo, Adingra. I'd probably start Poro. Honestly, just because I think United are shocking. Like, I'm generally a bit concerned about United overall, and I think that this is. I mean, it depends whether you really think Porro will start. I've actually already seen some rumors that he might not, and also simply United are so bad. I'd probably just play Porro over Dallo, and then it's quite easy for me. I would definitely just play Adingra. Why isn't Haaland's name in the title? What is that supposed to mean? Sorry. How is Szoboszlai for 1 week punt? It's okay. I'm not. I think it's good, but I'm not sure if it's amazing. Because for example, I'd still play Son over him. FPL Eric says, "Hi Fran, should I start Trippier or Porro?" I'd probably start Porro, to be honest. Better clean sheet odds, and it is Arsenal at the end of the day. Hi Fran, move 3.9 Taylor to Lascelles or burn a transfer. I mean, I wouldn't burn a transfer. What do you think about? Yeah, maybe just go Lascelles for a bit. It's a tough one because obviously I guess you lose 0.1 in the bank, but it might be worth it if you can get, let's say, Lascelles playing for you next week, which would actually be ideal, wouldn't it? Palace defender for next 5 is essential. I wouldn't say it's essential, but I think it's very good because obviously the fixtures are good. The thing is, if you, for example, like me, for whatever reason, always enjoy playing multiple defenders on the bench, like let's say you've got 4 to 5 defenders on the bench, you don't necessarily need Palace. I think Palace is good for the people who, always have that sort of bench structure where they have very, very weak defenses. So like Kabore, other players like Lascelles, etc., Taylor at this point in time. So if you have that sort of team structure, obviously it's nicer to go Guehi because in theory you're just playing, above average fixtures each week. But I think you could maximize without Guehi as well. You've got James Ward-Prowse and thoughts on what to do with him. Look, personally, I don't love him as a pick. I think his underlying data has obviously slowed down. We were sort of hoping that maybe West Ham could be a bit transformational as a team, but they've actually turned out to be rather dull. So I'd probably think about transferring him out this week, given it's an away fixture. Burn to Simicast, I think that's a good move. Why would you rather free hit in Game Week 20 than double Game Week 20? Because the whole idea is that if you free hit on 18, right, you're planning ahead. So like, if I make all my transfers ahead of time and I start going into Brentford players and Man City players around game weeks, 14, 15, I enjoy those really good fixtures for City like 16 plus, and I enjoy the good fixtures from Brentford, which I think also is something like 14 plus, right? So around that time, because I get to invest into some better teams, what I can do obviously is just still have a very, very strong Brentford and Man City core, which means that when double game week 20 rolls around, I'll still have those players. And then all I need to do is free hit around that. You can't find a way next game week to get Saka. Look, honestly, I think you don't need to go Saka. If you got Son, I'd probably just keep them. The Black Grealish, hope you're doing well. Thank you for calling me the GOAT. FPL Guerra, I'm doing good. Hope your day's well too. Would you recommend to play the wildcard in the next weeks, maybe after international break, to get Liverpool and Arsenal players or a Bumo in, or try to build the team for a blank and we can play the wildcard then? Honestly, what I would do is probably build the team for your wild card in terms of the short term. Like, I don't think there's a point building towards Game Week 18. Because if you think about it, let's say if you're to wild card in the next few weeks, you'd still have 7 transfers, right? Starting from now. Have I seen Ben Crellin predict blank Game Week 26? Yep, I have. Hi, Fran. Your opinion on getting Diaby out for Matoma? I don't think that makes sense personally. I wouldn't do it. Mbumo or Matoma, I'd probably go Mbumo. João Pedro to Nunez for a -4. I actually think it's a good move if you can upgrade there. Should I play a 4-4-2 with Guehi, Anderson, Cash, and Trippier, or 3-5-2 with Gordon? Who should I bench? I don't mind actually playing the 3-5-2. I think honestly your bench is actually to be decided between, let's say, maybe Trippier and Gordon, I suppose. Yeah, that's my opinion there. What job do I do? I'm an accountant, usually full time. Would you play Adingra over Anderson? I probably would, yes. Who to take out from Foden, Saka, Madison to get Salah in? Ooh, I'd probably actually go out of Madison or Saka. Should I keep Neto for when he returns? No, I would sell him. So it depends. Like, can you play something like a 4-4-2? Can you play something like, let's say, a 3-4-3? If not, then obviously just take Neto out. How old am I? I am 25 years old. Stones or Walker? I'd I'd probably go Walker because I think Stones sometimes has fitness issues, and Walker obviously has been incredible. I still think free at 18 is viable, by the way, Henry, because it's not like those blanks are huge if you think about it. And the whole idea behind, let's say, free at 18 is that because you actually have a double on game week 20, that actually really helps the sort of fixture congestion. You can see Van de Ven. Louis out for Mbumo. I'd probably go Mbumo, my friend Deepak. I'd definitely go Mbumo. Best transfers in for James Ward-Prowse. I'd also say Mbumo. What day was I born? I won't say, but I'm a December born kid, I suppose. Selling Burn to Guehi or save a transfer. I think Burn to Guehi is quite good. Nice to see you around, Rio. Hope you're doing well. Thoughts on Eze? I'd wait for him to be fit first because it's very likely that he might be starting on the bench today. If you had a bad game week, how do I spend the week? I mean, I tried to get over it during the weekend, right? Because you don't want to spend the week being depressed. But I have been depressed before over FPL. I think we all have. What I tried to do is just realize that sometimes you're not in control of football results, is what I would say. You know, there's so much random things in football. I mean, how often can you truly predict something in football? If you could, you'd just be a professional gambler. And I don't think any of us are professional gamblers, or even to the point where, you know, we can actually make a full-time living from professional gambling. So unless you can actually do that, don't get too worried about FPL results. Morning, Fran. All the best for this game week. You too, Wolverine. Thoughts on Haaland triple captain? I'd probably save it for Sheffield United at home in game week 20. Would Dallo be a good option? I don't think Dallo's a good option in terms of transfers. I think obviously you can play him. If you had triple Villa, when would you look to jump off? What I would probably do with triple Villa is jump off around game week 13 or game week 14. So I think Watkins, for example, when you look at fixtures, he can be easily jumped off around game week 13. But then I can understand keeping Watkins for game week 14 versus Bournemouth. So that means the next opportunity is game week 15. As far as cash, same logic there. You can probably jump off game week 13. Now, as far as Diaby, I think it's the same logic there too. I'd probably focus on keeping Watkins until, let's say, Bournemouth. And then actually I'd probably sell Diaby and cash on game week 13. I can probably do something like Guardiola and Mbumo, maybe on game week 13. You play FC Mobile every day to recover from the FPL disaster. I think honestly you just need to sort of reason that you can't get everything right in FPL, and that is what it is too. Sometimes your team also is built for the medium to long term, so it's not going to work out every game week. If you had the option to transfer in Gabriel Romero, who would it be? I'd probably go. I don't really love the two, if I'm honest. I don't like either transfer. I have to just be honest and just say that. Isn't West Ham a tough fixture for Mbumo? It's not an away fixture. He's got West Ham at home. It's a tough fixture for Bowen actually because he's going to Brentford away. Reguilon or Crystal Palace defender for Botman? I'd probably go the Crystal Palace defender just because Reguilon. I think Shaw is close as well, so tough. Your name's similar to British comedy sitcom, The Nanny Char. I've got no clue what you're talking about, but I'm gonna have to pretend to take that as a compliment. What's the hype around Mbumo? First of all, he's on penalties. Second of all, technically out of position at times when he's not playing right wing back. And then ultimately, I mean, look, underlying stats in terms of open play, even when you exclude the penalties, is very, very good, even compared to a lot of his peers in that same position. So even though he's got two tough fixtures in Liverpool and Arsenal back to back after this West Ham at home fixture, he's just an incredible player at that price point. Who would you start between Maguire, Lascelles, and Gabriel? Probably Maguire. What do you think of Zinchenko long-term pick? I think he's okay, but I'm worried. Obviously, there's going to be times where, you know, Arteta can actually rotate between both Gabriel and Zinchenko, so that makes it very, very tough. Is Saka and 4.4 midfield to Mbumo and Matoma for a -4 a good move? Honestly, I don't think that's a great move. Oh, you have to play for a 4-4-2 with Gabriel and Burn. Yeah, but you also have to think about the fact that you're going to take a -4, right? So I probably wouldn't do it. You're at 187k at the moment. Leave or continue. I mean, obviously keep playing. 187k in the world is still a great rank. Definitely keep playing. Do you know when the press conferences are? They're usually on Friday in the afternoon. I got one free transfer. Who would you transfer out, Diaz or Hoyland? Diaz. Should I play Burn or Shar, transfer out Essential? I'd probably just transfer out Shar. Save yourself a bit more money. Thoughts on Trippier to Trent? I think that's a good move. Excuse me, sorry. Yeah, I think it's a good move, especially if you want to double up on Liverpool. There's no way Holland is benched, my friends. There's just no way. He's been rested for a whole week, and we think he's going to get benched. Let's be serious. Start Lamptey or Adingra. I'd probably start Adingra. Guys, I think Everton away, we need to start respecting Everton as an attacking team. So, and also, I mean, Brighton. I mean, what a defensive team they are. Sarcasm, obviously, but yeah, you get my point. Start Madison or Saka? I'd start Madison over Saka. Best midfield options this week. I mean, if I was free hitting, let's just do your free hit. I mean, I would definitely Mbumo this week. Foden this week, I would do. Son probably. Mm, Salah. That's 4. I think just to afford a good team, we probably need. Maybe we would need Huang. Maybe. Let's just hold on that thought. Maybe we don't, but defender wise, I'd probably go. Because we're going Foden. We can't really go for a City defender, can we? No, I don't think we can. I'd probably go Simicas. Try and get Virgil if I could. What else could we do? Maybe not maybe a Wolves defender this week as well is probably what I would consider. And maybe Luka Dean. So I'd go Luka Dean, save a bit of money there. Maybe someone like Dawson or Semedo. And then Simicas, that's a very, very cheap defense that I think would be very good. I'd probably go Johnston as my keeper. Or actually, yeah, I'll go Johnston as my keeper because I've already got Simicas. And then I'd play 3-4-3. Maybe don't go. I mean, Huang could be first bench, obviously. And then we can just go Holland, Alvarez, and I think just go Darwin. Yeah. I think that would be probably the team that I would like to go with on a free hit. How's married life? It's good. It's good. Enjoying it. I mean, married life isn't really too different from being single and having a girlfriend, I would say. You're just, I suppose, committed long term. Are you satisfied with my captaincy? I mean, of course, it's Haaland versus Bournemouth at home. How could I not be? When should I transfer out cash? Game week 13, I think, is a good opportunity. How long till Lascelles is a problem? I mean, we can't answer that question until Botman's back, really. And who knows? I mean, he's played reasonably well so far, but yeah, I think obviously he's just going to lose his spot in the team. I have when is the mini Fran coming though? Not anytime soon. No. Start Maguire or Dingra. I'd probably go Dingra. I think this is such a bad week for defenders. I would just start my attackers most of the time. Hey Fran, hope you're doing well, J Wavy. Nice to see you around. João Pedro transfer and Willian or Gordon. I'd probably João Pedro transfer. Would you start Gordon or Trippier? I'd probably start Gordon. It's tough. It's close. Praise be. He-Chan. I think He-Chan's a great pick. He-Chan means Huang. Critique your own team. What are the weaknesses now? I mean, the weaknesses are actually this week, right? It's a bad team because I've got Gordon. It's a bad team because I've got Gabriel, and I don't know whether he'll start versus Burnley. Colwell, I don't really mind so much because he's going to be a good long-term pick on 16 plus. Keeper wise, I mean, Turner might lose his spot soon, so maybe we could save money if we could. Watkins, can't really complain, but I suppose Nunez and Alvarez are now starting to show up with a lot of value. Diaby could be Mbumo. Other than that, I think my team's okay. I quite like the team, to be honest. Don't want to critique it that much. Can non-Holland owners captain Alvarez? No, I think if you're a non-Holland owner, captain Salah, honestly. I don't believe in the concept of covering. I've said it multiple times. If Salah has a great week, just captain him instead. That's it. Is Lamptey starting? Unsure. He better name his firstborn Isco. Okay. All right, chill out, Henry. Please help check my team on Discord. Yeah, I can have a look at Discord briefly. Hmm. I mean, I think your team's good. Your team's good. It's the way to go. I mean, your best transfers, you probably needed another defender, but it's actually tough to sort of suggest a defender because you've already got double city. I mean, if you can go Ward Prowse to Mbumo, I would do it, but I don't know if you can afford it. Otherwise, I would actually consider maybe something like Ward Prowse to Huang. Actually sounds pretty interesting as a move. And then actually, I don't know, you can upgrade Neto another time. You've Neto and Richarlison and one free transfer. I'd probably sell Neto. Actually, I'd probably sell Richarlison to Mbumo if you could do that. Um, who do you? What does that mean? Sorry. Who do you think is the best algorithms in terms of FPL point predictions? FPL review. I have Neto and Richarlison and one free transfer. Who should I sell to what? I think obviously, I mean, I'm affiliated with Hub, so I don't think Hub's algorithm is bad at all. I think it's quite good. I use it from time to time to sense check as well. I also previously used to use Mikkel Talkvam's algorithm, but I don't use it anymore. Hey, Fran, good luck to you as well, Mez. Nice to see you around, and been enjoying some of the streams lately, so thank you for joining mine. Leno or Pickford this week? I'd probably just play. I'd play Pickford actually. Just a home fixture. Why not? Start Porro Maguire. I'd start Porro easily. Hope you make it to the top 10K. I don't think it's going to happen this week, guys. Honestly, I think my team's pretty horrendous. You know, I critiqued it already, but I think it's especially bad this week just because Gordon has a bad game. Otherwise, I actually quite like Gordon in general. But keep in mind, of course, a lot of people have some great picks. Like Palmer is a good pick. Are there any updates for Udogi or Lyle Foster? I think Lyle was sick, wasn't he? So what's sort of precluding him from playing is the way I'm thinking. Yeah, Soldier Boy. I think your team is in a good spot. I mean, I'd probably. I mean, I might consider Taylor, to be honest. Taylor over Burn, and call it a day. But the thing is, you're really, you know, deliberating between the worst players in your team this week, and we just have to respect that, right? It's just tough. The team actually looks really good though in general. I like the 3-4-3, and obviously Alvarez versus Bournemouth, lovely game. So good luck. Play Solanke or Lamptey? I definitely play Lamptey. I mean, at that point, because I mean, look, it's Bournemouth versus City. Do I watch any other sports? Yeah, I do actually. I watch NBA, although obviously that's just basketball. Um, Tennis. Whenever some of the Spaniards are playing, so Alcaraz, or Nadal, and what other sports do I watch? My mind's sort of drawing a blank, but I think that's it in terms of sports. Obviously, I watch a lot of other football leagues. Vamos Alcaraz, yeah. I mean, Alcaraz is like incredible, but I'm obviously a Nadal super fan, but obviously respect all the other goats. Although the true goat obviously is Djokovic. Ugh, sucks to say that. Thoughts on the end season 20 in the NBA? I mean, I think they're doing it to sort of monetize NBA revenue during the sort of American football season. So nothing other than that, really. It doesn't seem like the players care too much. Is Saka a priority transfer? I don't think he's a priority transfer at all this week. I mean, he's got a bad fixture. Possible to have a look at Discord? I can definitely do that. Nadal for Real Madrid president. Hope so. He is actually a Real Madrid fan. And I don't know. I would encourage you guys to check Nadal playing football in a friendly five-a-side versus Casillas, or I think a three on three in a futsal match. And you can see how good Nadal is at football. Actually ridiculous how good he is. Is Johnston a good pick? Yeah, of course he is. Luis Diaz to Matoma. Yeah, that's a good move. I think even going to Mbumo this week makes sense. Udai Gaming, I would just go Mbumo from Ward Prowse, honestly, and call it a day. Bowen or Gordon this week. I would definitely just play. I'd probably play Bowen reluctantly. What is the best time for our second wild card? Hard to know now. I think it's around game week 30 something. Just because you're probably expecting for maybe game week 31, something like that. Just because we expect probably a double game week in 34, likely. But we'll see what happens, of course. Udogi to Ait Nuri. I think that's a great pick. Good luck with that. How much is Ait Nuri this season? Sorry, because I actually haven't been following Ait Nuri's price, and I know obviously he might be a bit cheap. Because traditionally he's been quite cheap. 4.5 though. I mean, at that point, obviously, you can pick Ait-Nouri or Dawson, I would say. Even Semedo is not a bad pick. I mean, Ait-Nouri was absolutely balling out last week versus Newcastle, but, he does lack end product in general. Um, Thank you, Yala. Um, Josan. Yassine says Flecken or Ariel as a start. I'd probably start Flecken. What are your plans for the future? I mean, continuing with my full-time job, and then obviously if there's ever an opportunity for me to go full-time in FPL, I would. When should we consider jumping off Cash? I think we sort of mentioned it earlier, but I think Cash on Gameweek 13 when he plays Spurs away is a nice sort of jump-off spot. Alternatively, obviously, Gameweek 15, because you probably want to give that Aston... I mean, if you keep that Aston Villa player beyond 13, you've got Gameweek 14 versus Bournemouth away. So it's either 13 or 15 for me. And I probably, obviously, since I have 3 Aston Villa assets, I'll probably be progressively getting out of them. So 2 of them may be out on 13, and then 1 of them out on 15. Thanks, Yala. Asperos says, hey, Thran, what's your thoughts on Lamptey? I probably would actually start him over Gabriel. Maybe you could give your take on who to start. The concern with Lamptey, though, is we don't actually know whether he's going to start. I know De Zerbi effectively said he's ready for the squad, but I mean, last week he played a back 3 and he didn't really incorporate fullbacks in that team, right? So something to think about. Would I start in Kedia? Probably not. Hey, Fran, I have 681 points too. I'd probably start Taylor Lamptey. Leak Crew, thank you so much for the donation. Really appreciate it. Start 3, Tsimikas, Guehi, Cash, Trippier, Gabriel. I think you would start it in the order that you mentioned. Tsimikas, Guehi, Cash. I'd probably first bench Trippier reluctantly, but I think it's between, let's say, Guehi and Trippier, right? Just because Guehi doesn't really have too much attacking return potential. So the question, I suppose, is whether you think Burnley's going to get a clean sheet, because Burnley's clean sheet odds are higher than Newcastle, but we also know, of course, Trippier is just an attacking threat. Having said, of course, whenever you face a tough defensive team, that attacking threat is going to be stifled naturally. Awesome, thank you, Mez. Bench Trippier, Dallo. I'd probably bench Dallo if I'm honest. I mean, United are something else of a team. Transfer Watkins to Darwin. Yeah, I think it's an okay move. It's a luxury move, I would say. So definitely wouldn't be something I'd take a hit for, but I would take a punt on Darwin for sure. It seems like he's actually the sort of default starting player, but you have to sort of accept that there will be some L's, right? For example, I mean, Man City is obviously just an L of a fixture. On top of that, too, you've got probably him coming back from in the international break, which would be tough. Socek or Archer. I'd probably go Archer. Please don't spam in the chat. Take a hit out for Gusto to Maguire. It's not worth a hit, my friend. I don't even think Maguire is going to get 4 points. You got to go lock in. Good luck, Fran. Good luck to you as well, Aguero. I mean, think about it, right? Gusto can probably get 2 points. Maguire. I mean, Reece James is probably going to start. Yeah, I mean, that's a tough thing, I suppose. Do you really need that third defender? Harjo, thank you so much. Start Taylor. I would start Gordon. I would definitely start Gordon. I would put Taylor very similar to Burn and Gabriel. I mean, I've been asked that question, and I can understand why people are asking that question, because they all seem pretty terrible this week, and you're struggling to pick the one. And I'm not the oracle. I can't see the future. I think it is very likely that, Arsenal and Newcastle being great defensive teams, that one of them can clean sheet, but at the same time can be both teams to score. I just like generally the idea of Gordon, because attacker, when everyone has bad defensive weeks, is probably just worth moving into. Udai, I mean, I've really responded to you, or Uday Gaming. I mean, yeah, I've already told you that I would rather go Mbumo from Ward Prowse. If you don't want to listen to me, that's fine. I'm lucky I went for Gordon instead of Neto that week. I mean, yeah, that's tough, isn't it? Because I think if you went Neto, you're sort of forced for another enabler, at which point you probably want to go Hwang, a Dingra, or for whatever reason, if your team can accommodate some sort of 4-5-1 for the next few weeks, then I guess Palmer is still very, very good. My third defender is Burn. Take a hit for Gusto transfer. I'd just play Burn, honestly. I would just play Burn. Hi, Fran. Do I show your team? Yeah, I mean, members do obviously have direct access to me on a DM basis. So you can join as a member if you want, and I'll be able to respond to you anytime. But you can always share your team, and I can, if I can read your chat, I can try to respond. Yusuf says Taylor, Gabriel, and Maguire. Who do I start, and what should the bench order be? I'd probably start Maguire, then I'd probably start Taylor, then I'd probably start Gabriel last. Thoughts on Neto to Hui? Yeah, I think Hwang is good, but I wouldn't do it for a -4. I would just start Gabriel at that point. Daniel, morning as well. Love to you. You've got Sterling. Really need to sell. Take a -4. I mean, -4 is tough. I'd probably go Mbumo, because he's got a good fixture, but I probably wouldn't take that -4. Um, no, I know you weren't being rude, by the way. It's just I've responded twice. Archit, bench boost game week 12. Kaminsky, Nketiah, Udogi, Saliba. Um, I think that's a great bench boost, but obviously keep in touch with Udogi with whatever's going on with his ankle ligaments. Start selling Dallo to Simicast. I think that's a great move. You want Jota as a differential to Darwin? Yeah, I think that's great. That's a great differential. Bench Palmer or Dingra, but keep in mind, of course, Jota could start on the bench. Bench Palmer or Dingra, I'd probably bench. I'd probably bench Palmer, just because he's away from home, and that sort of levels a Dingra, I suppose. And then obviously it becomes a fixture thing. Palmer obviously a penalty taker, but yeah, I would take the chance on a Dingra getting a full week of rest. Hey, Fran, start Tarkovsky or Udogi. Start chance he gets a cameo. Yeah, I'd just start Tarkovsky. Watkins or Darwin? Darwin, probably this week. You got Simicast, but you're thinking of going Lamptey to Lascelles, but thinking of rolling. I think you should roll, definitely. Start burner bench Gabriel. I'd probably. It's tough. I mean, I generally think that's a 50-50 because Gabriel has a little bit of attacking odds. I mean, how do you guys actually think the Arsenal Newcastle fixture will go? I mean, I like to back the home team usually, so I would probably play Burn, but it's up to you. Is it normal to have 0 Man United assets? Yes, it is normal because they're awful. In fact, I think they're just about as bad as some of the bottom half teams, and they are a bottom half team right now in terms of underlying stats. Alvarez, definitely a great pick. Arsenal Newcastle 1-1. It's not very good for defenders, is it? Pedro Porta Simicas. Good move if you really need a third defender, but I actually think Porto actually is a decent defender this week. How would you order a Lamptey, Gabriel, and Archer bench? I'd actually just play Archer, then I'd play Lamptey, then I'd play Gabriel. Palmer versus Gordon, I'd probably actually pick. I'd probably pick Palmer. How's Alvarez as a captaincy option? I prefer Salah, and I prefer Mbumo, and then after that, I'd probably pick Alvarez. Ward to Mbumo and Neto to Dingra. I think those are good moves. Arsenal can away clean sheet versus anyone. I mean, untrue actually. I mean, Arsenal's clean sheet odds are still going to be worse away from home than at home. Just because they were so good away from home doesn't actually mean that they're a better away team defensively. I know there's a sort of mental element to it, but like we can't predict as such, if that makes sense. They've already been very, very good at home this season too. Arsenal have. I mean, it's a historical fact that they were better for clean sheets away from home, but that doesn't stay the same. Man United last season had the most clean sheets. Are you telling me that they're going to get the most clean sheets this season? Let's not just look at facts in terms of what happened. You have to sort of try and understand and think how reproducible something is. And the simple fact is Arsenal are going to have an easier time at home, and that's why they've had good clean sheets this season at home too. Hi, Simicas or Anderson, please. I'd play Simicas. Should I play Taylor over Gabriel? Yeah, probably you should. With Paqueta out, who's on penalties? Probably Ben Rama or James Ward-Prowse. It's definitely not going to be Bowen. I have no Haaland, so who to captain? Salah, Nunez, Alvarez. Head says Salah, gut says Nunez. I'd probably go Salah personally. I think Nunez is a very high risk, high reward play. I'd probably just go Salah because it feels safe because he's also going to play 90 minutes. Does so. You're 9K and 10 out of 11. Well, I mean, good news for me and good news for us. Hopefully, we'll both do well. Any leaks? Doesn't seem like we've actually gotten any leaks so far. So I will keep. I will have a readout for leaks right now. Let me have a look. You've never been as confused. Should I start Gabriel, Burn, or Taylor? I mean, I think Taylor is quite nice as a differential. It's, as I said, it is actually a true 50-50 because the clean sheet odds are very, very low for all of them. But Taylor actually has the highest. Then I think it's Gabriel. Then it's Burn. But then also at the same time, I like to back home team in these tough fixtures. So I can understand the idea of going for Burn. But I'd probably just play Taylor, actually. I've sort of reconsidered on that one. Bench order, Archer, Burn, Gabriel. I think you've got the right order, actually. Start Nketiah or bring him in this. I'd definitely, I'd play him next week. I'd bring him in next week. Why Haaland captain over Salah Watkins? I mean, home versus away, and why are we questioning a Haaland captains? He's versus Bournemouth, the second worst team in terms of expected goals conceded. It's Erling Haaland at home. Why is that a question? Would you take a hit to get rid of James Ward-Prowse to Matoma? I wouldn't do that. What's my team value? Let's have a look at it. It's 103.3 million. Arsenal have lowest expected goals away from home in the league this season. Yeah, but that's small sample size though. Last season they actually had, lower expected goals conceded at home, which is normal. The reason why you can't make a judgment is because they've barely played at home this season. I mean, they've barely played enough home and away games where you can say that that's enough sample size. 4 or 5 games is not sample size. Arsenal have played 6 games at home. They've played 4 games away. Some teams have played 6 games away. Some teams have played 5 games away. How can you say that Arsenal are the best away defense? Man City have played 6 away games. Only expected goals conceded 3.7. Arsenal, on the other hand, have played 4 games away from home and only have 3.3. So by that logic, Arsenal are a worse team than Man City if you wanted to divide by 4 or divide by 6, right? So that's just a simple fact. Whereas Arsenal, if you look at, let's say, their sort of expected goals, away from at home as well, they're up there, as a top 4 team. But you can't really judge because they've played 6 games, whereas some other teams have played 4 or 5 or 4. In terms of all the teams that have played 6 games at home, Arsenal are number 1. So don't use a sample size that's not even consistent to make an argument, I would say. Would you consider any other West Ham player other than Bowen? No. I mean, Areola is the only player I would really consider. Anything to say to you, Charlie? I mean, a broken clock can tell the time correctly once a day, no? So that's probably what I have to say to you. Appreciate you, Charlie, though. I bet you didn't own Nketiah at that time either, did you? Should I go Bowen to Matoma or roll the transfer? I honestly would consider Bowen to Mbumo or roll the transfer. When I try to log into FPL, it says use your profile is already associated with a Google account. That just means that you should log in with Google, I believe. Bench Diaby or Saka? I'd probably bench Saka, fixture-wise. Thank you, boss man. Yeah, I will eat good this week. Cheers, you too. Start Gabriel Lamptey. I'd probably go Lamptey. Maguire, Gabriel, Taylor. I think you've got the order correct. I'd probably maybe play Taylor ahead of Gabriel. Hey Jankster, hope you're doing well. Is it worth swapping Saka for Foden? Not for a -4, my friend. Should keep Højlund or swap him for Nunez. I would probably just swap him to Nunez, honestly. Diaz starts or benched. I can't say. I mean, he was in training, so it might be the case that he plays. But look, I mean, there's a very serious condition with Luis Diaz. I don't know what to say about it. It's an emotional and mental decision that I have no idea of his framework. Should I go Wemby to Chet for a -4? No, of course not, mate. Wemby's clear for Rookie of the Year. Lamptey, Taylor, or Burn? I think you've got the right order. Jankster, I'd probably go Taylor, actually. You know why? Because I don't know if Lamptey will start. And also, he's coming back from a fitness issue. Domenico De Luca, thank you so much for the donation. I really appreciate that. Greetings to you as well. You've got one free transfer. You have Alvarez to Haaland with Madison to Hwang Hee-chan for a -4. Or do Morris to Darwin cap. I actually like the -4. Honestly, I actually like the -4. I would probably not bench Madison and Matoma, so I kind of just like the -4 because Haaland captain is quite nice. The thing that I would say though is I think Morris to Darwin is actually a very, very elegant move. I would prefer it, if I'm honest, Morris to Darwin, but I wouldn't captain Darwin. If you had, let's say, Salah, I would just captain Salah instead, and then I would do Morris to Darwin. So if I could suggest and pick sort of one myself, I would do Morris to Darwin and then actually captain Salah. Then I would bench Matoma because at least Madison's at home. Who's going to be my captain? Definitely Haaland. No questions asked. It's not going to change. Cheers, Fran. Awesome rank. Thank you very much, Yun Chong. Play Taylor over Gabriel? Yeah, I think that makes sense. Start Gabriel or Shar? I'd probably start Gabriel. I mean, it's close. It's like a true 50-50. I've been answering these questions, and I'd probably start Shar because I think he's at home. Yeah. Play Maguire, Trippier, and Kedia. I'd play Trippier. And if you don't have Holland, would you captain Trent? No, I'd captain Salah. Assuming you have Salah. Who do I bring in as my third defender? You have to pick from Dallo, Shah, or Gabriel. I'd probably actually play Dallo reluctantly. Is this my final team? Yes, it is. Start Pope or Areola? I'd probably start Pope. If you had Taylor, would you start them over anyone in your team? No. Best. I mean, the thing is, I think Porro is clear. I think Simicast is clear. I would probably put Taylor ahead of Gabriel. And that's it in terms of my bench. Fernandes or Gordon? I'd definitely play Fernandes. Would you start Cash or Porro? I'd start Cash. Will we get early team news? Unlikely. I think we might get some team news, but fixture wise, it's not ideal. It's just Fulham, Man United, isn't it? All the best to you as well. Erling Haaland, yeah, that's my captain. Could Dean be rotation risk since Moreno's back? Yeah, of course he can be rotation risk, but is Moreno actually back? I didn't actually read news that he's back. You have a weird question, but would you start Ansu Fati or Gordon? I'd probably actually start Ansu Fati. Transfer plans in the next few weeks. Time to take out some of the Aston Villa players. Maybe look towards Guardiola in Game Week 13. Maybe look towards going back to Brian Mbumo. All right, Charlie, I'm not going to respond to that, mate. I was hoping for a Foden leak, but he's burned me so much in the past. I think Foden's a great pick. I don't think you even need a leak to really confirm that Foden will play, in my opinion. I think we will get a City leak before the deadline, though. So let's just wait, sit tight for 16 minutes. Hope lazy FPL bails us out somehow. Marcus Rashford apparently has an injury. Do we even believe that? Interesting. We'll quickly check for some leaks once again. Don't really think we have any leaks so far. At least nothing that I've actually seen. So yeah, just the I think Varane has missed training, so definitely Maguire makes sense, to play him. Wouldn't be too concerned about starting Maguire, but otherwise, it's a bit of a tough situation. Hello, Fran, new to the channel. Would you sell Madison for Matoma? Absolutely not. I would just play Madison. Love your videos. Thank you, Pancakes. I would love to go to 100k subs, so thank you very much. If anyone can obviously drop a like, drop a subscription, I would really appreciate that. And thank you to all the new viewers who are actually joining the chat for the live stream today. And I hope your game weeks are going or have gone as well as possible. And obviously this one, I'm hoping it goes well too. News on Shar. I mean, what do you mean news on Shar? Sorry, I'm going to have to put you on a timeout. I mean, what is the news on Shar? João Pedro, Edouard. I'd probably go João Pedro. Love you too, Gordon. Start Palmer or Adingra. I'd probably start Palmer. I'd start Adingra, sorry, actually thinking back about it. Which pair is better? Darwin plus Adingra or slash Huang? Definitely the Darwin pair. I think Darwin plus Huang is quite nice this week to go into. Should I go Watkins to Darwin to free up funds for... yeah, I think that makes sense. Best net to replacement. Apparently Calvin might start. Apparently Calvin. Foden is starting. Foden is apparently starting. We have a leak, guys. We have a leak. Foden apparently to start. Rotation to happen. Domenico, thank you again for the donation. Your problem is getting Darwin. Your front is Madison, Salah, Son, Diaby, Mitoma, Watkins, Alvarez, bench. I mean, obviously, I would play Madison. I'd play Salah. I'd play Son. I'd play Watkins, and I would definitely play Alvarez. I don't really mind benching Mitoma. I know you're going to look at it and say it's Everton, but I think Everton is still a better team than, let's say, Nottingham Forest. So actually, maybe I would just go Mitoma over Diaby, and I might consider Diaby benching. I don't know what you think about that. I think your bench is between Diaby and Mitoma, because I think Madison is at home. It's a good fixture, so it's not too bad. Lamptey's not flagged. Yeah, exactly, because Roberto De Zerbi said he's available. It doesn't mean that he's going to start 100%, though. That's the issue. Would I start Udogi if I had him? Probably not, to be honest, because I think he is sort of struggling with a muscular issue. You're only 200,000 ranks worse than me, Charlie says. You need to start putting respect on your ball knowledge. I think you've got ball knowledge, mate. I'm not saying that you're a grandfather clock. Just saying that Nketiah is. Fran, would you do Matoma to Foden? Yeah, I definitely would. Start Bowen or Bruno. I'd go Bruno. I mean, it's a home fixture. Bench Gordon and Boomer or Diaby. Definitely Gordon. Oh, Main Road. Yep. FPL. Yep. Main Road has a Man City leak. Cap Salah. I'm not doing Salah at all. Going Haaland. Thank you, Grealish. Good luck with your transfers. Pedro, Ferguson, or Darwin long term. I'd probably go Darwin. Guehi or Dallo. If you've already answered, I'd go Guehi easily. Because I think Dallo's position in the team is actually a little bit debatable. But yeah, going back to your question, Domenico, I'd probably actually bench Diaby or Matoma, choose between one of the two of them, and actually, yeah, 3-4-3 with Darwin actually sounds really tempting. However, what that also says about your team is that you can probably start to move one of those picks in the future to an enabler. So let's say when Adingra plays Sheffield United at home, maybe you actually can just do that on that fixture. Alternatively, I mean, if you really want to, Domenico, you could actually just roll your transfer because your team is still very, very strong this week. But I totally appreciate the fact that Nunez is super high upside this week as well. So that's why I don't really mind benching Diaby and Matoma in that instance. But definitely Maddison is someone that I would like to play this week. I really think that home fixtures and away fixtures is something that we should look into. I mean, whenever you look into, let's say, underlying stats for teams, home and away, there's a huge gulf between home and away. So last season, even if you look at, actual goals scored, I think City scored 60 goals at home and then something like 33 away from home. So kind of gives you a picture of how important it is for a player to actually be playing at home. But yeah, definitely would play Maddison this week. And it is between Diaby and Matoma for me. I'd probably bench Matoma personally, but up to you if you want to go for that Darwin transfer. I just think -4 is not very good because you actually have very, very good players, as you can identify yourself. Ben Taylor says, is there any other 4.1 defender to consider before I move Taylor to Lascelles? Unfortunately not, because obviously Maguire's 4.2, and ultimately, I mean, Lascelles will play Bournemouth next week. The thing is, though, I think Lamptey is a player, if in theory, let's say Estupinian can't play, and if they can play a fullback next week, once again, with this Brighton team, then obviously Sheffield United at home is a better fixture than Bournemouth away. So that's the only thing, but I think that's a huge gamble to take. So I probably wouldn't do the Lamptey move. Start Udogie or Lamptey. I'd probably start Lamptey. Should I free up money this week by going Trippier to Guehi? I think that's a good move, Ziad. Gordon Diaby out to free up funds. I'd probably free up funds by going Gordon out because it's a bad Gordon fixture. Who to bench, Ward or Taylor? I'd probably bench Ward. Fernandez, Diaby, or Saka bench. Probably Diaby, or yeah. Use my free transfer to do Udogie to Tsimikas. I think that makes sense. I think honestly, anytime you can go Tsimikas this week, I think it's fantastic. Alvarez or Watkins, I would go Alvarez as well. 200 of you guys in the chat. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys can like and subscribe, that would be lovely. Let's just do a very, very quick captaincy poll as well. I'm just kind of curious to see what people are going to do. I mean, I guess this is a question almost. Is it whether you own Haaland or you're no Hollander? I'll leave other as well if any of you guys are actually Mavericks and going for something like Nunez. You've got one free transfer. I'm happy with your midfield. Thoughts on Watkins to Darwin? I think it's a good move because next week is probably a week where you can roll. I think the only thing I would ask yourself, is if you look at Gameweek 12, is it a week where you can roll? And if that's the case, then Watkins to Darwin is obviously it's chasing upside, but it's the type of upside that I like chasing. Trippier, Mitchell to start. I'd probably go Mitchell. Can I see bench? Yeah, you can see bench, of course. Start Adingra or Højlund. I'd probably start Højlund. James Ward-Prowse matters to Adingra and Saka. I wouldn't be going towards Saka this week. I think Maddison is better than Saka for this fixture. So I would probably just go James Ward-Prowse to Adingra and then call it a day. You don't need to upgrade Maddison to Saka this week. In fact, I wouldn't even call it an upgrade if you're doing the transfer this week. Bench order McCarthy, Burn, Lascelles. I mean, I'd probably just go Burn, Lascelles, McCarthy. Start Burn or Gabriel. I'd probably start Burn, just back the home fixture there. Which two to start out of Gordon, Gabriel, and Guehi? I'd probably start Guehi and Gordon. Do I sell Maddison or Son? I don't think you need to sell him for any of them for Diaby. I would keep them both. Start Dinger or Højlund. I've answered the question already. I'd start Højlund. I'm gonna have to put you in timeout. Sorry. Saka or Bowen to start. I'd probably start Saka, start Areola Turner. Definitely Areola for me. I'm starting Areola anyways. Udogi will start. I can't confirm that. I don't have news and I don't have leaks on Udogi and his fitness. He has been struggling in general. That's something that the manager has said, so just keep that in mind. Gordon or Gabriel, I'd start Gordon. Start Cash or Anderson. I'd definitely start Cash. A Dinger or Saka this game week, I'd start probably Saka. Should I transfer out Gordon this week? I think Gordon to Huang is quite nice, but it doesn't feel that good of a move. I think that's sort of a waste of money. Thoughts on Douglas Luiz replacement, or should I roll? I would just play Douglas Luiz and roll. Chelsea played better away from home. I mean, guys, we don't have enough sample size, right, to actually tell when teams are better away from home or not. Right now, some teams like Chelsea have only played, you know, how many teams? I think Chelsea's only played four times away from home. Meanwhile, Chelsea has played 6 times at home. So don't use samples like that, guys. That's not how you use data to sort of inform your decisions. If Chelsea has played 6 times at home, obviously their expected goals conceded is going to be worse. So don't look at the ranking there. Some teams have played 4 games at home. Some teams have played 5. Some teams have played 6. In fact, from all the teams that have actually played 6 games, Chelsea's actually quite good in terms of expected goals conceded. They're actually the second best. So don't sort of use that, right? Brighton have been so much worse. Manchester United have been so much worse. Bournemouth have been so much worse. It's ridiculous to say that Chelsea is better away from home. Start Bruno or Diaby? I'd start Bruno easily. Do you think start Gabriel or Pedro Porro? I'd start Pedro Porro as well. Home fixture. Your benching player is hiding. Why, Fran? It's not hidden, is it? I thought it's moved. Should have changed. Let me know if it's still hidden. I said Gordon to Huang if you really, really want to, but I think it's a luxury move and I probably wouldn't do it. You've gone Alvarez to Højlund. I think you're crazy, but, you know, that also means that you've got a crazy feeling, right? FPL Fran for president. Thank you, Kieran. Appreciate that. Bench 1, Robert Lean says, Madison, Darwin, Bowen, or Saka. I'd probably bench Bowen. Currently, we can't see the names. Oh, apologies. Yep. I'm hoping that's fixed soon. Maybe it has to be like this. Apologies. Still hidden. Yep, I've got that fixed now. Apologies. Archer or Taylor first bench. I think Archer first bench. Cash or Dean. I would just go Dean. Save yourself some money. I mean, the thing is, I probably would not transfer into Cash or Dean, so I would play Cash, but I mean, I would not transfer into an Aston Villa defender. Sorry, Oisin. I think that's fixed now. Or Oisin. I don't. Apologies. I don't know how. If you let me know how you pronounce your name, I could do better in the future. Anderson or Guehi, I'd probably just go Guehi, save yourself some money. You're thinking to buy a Dinger for now and then switch to Palmer. I think that's a good move, and yeah. Charlie says Trips or Lamptey. Trips for sure. Because I don't even know if Lamptey will really start, because obviously he's been struggling in fitness. Start Porro or Anderson. I'd definitely start Porro. But it's close. I would like to start both of them if at all possible. Trippier to Ait-Nouri. I think that's good. That's a good move. Kabori to Maguire. Yeah, why not? Varane apparently is injured as well. Who to get for James Ward-Prowse? I'd probably go Mbumo. If you can't go Mbumo, I'd probably go Huang. Areola, Tsimikas, Guehi, Cash, Gordon. With your team, I mean, what would I recommend? Honestly, I'd recommend rolling your free transfer, because I mean, if it might feel better to go out of Gordon this week, but it doesn't make sense. I think it's better if you just roll. I would just roll. Gordon or Huang. I'd pick Huang if I had the choice this week. Is Areola versus Turner a case of save points? Yes, and also a case that actually, I mean, still, Nottingham Forest is a worse team away from home. I mean, sorry, Nottingham Forest is just a worse defensive team, and Areola actually is a very good shot stopper. Guehi or Pedro Porro. I'd still play Pedro Porro, but they're very close. I would like to play both if possible. Tsimikas in for Dan Burn. I think that's a great move. Go for it. Anderson versus Burnley away, or Burnley versus Arsenal at home. I mean, I'd play Anderson over Burn for sure. Burn or Gabriel. I'd probably play Burn, just back the home fixture. Could bench Tsimikas to accommodate starting Anderson and Porro. No, you can't bench Tsimikas. This is such a good Tsimikas fixture. I'd probably bench Anderson. Would you start Trippier? I mean, it depends who you have. I actually probably would start Porro over Trippier. Last couple of minutes, so deadline exactly. Burn or Brathwaite? I'd probably go Brathwaite. Brathwaite or Taylor? I'd go Brathwaite. Ait Nuri for you, doggy. I think that makes sense. Lascelles for. I mean, Ait Nuri is still quite expensive though at 4.5. Not sure if I would love the pick just long term, but yeah, Lascelles or you, doggy seems risky. I'd probably just go Lascelles because it's hard to see actually whether Udog will play 60 minutes. Start Bruno or Diaby. I'd start Bruno. Lamptey or Burn. Lamptey. 3 minutes left, guys. Haaland benched. What do you mean title? Oh, sorry. Oh, my title's. I didn't actually know that my title's messed up. Sorry about that. I apologize about the title. Total mess up there. I had to change it. Guehi, Burner, Gabriel. I'd definitely go Guehi. I think Big Mark is good to go for you. I've actually got another question for chat. Do you guys think I should start Gordon or Archer? What do you guys think? Diaby or Kwan Ki-chan? What do you mean in terms of playing? I'd probably go Ki-chan. Did we confirm that Alvarez is starting? We haven't gotten any leaks so far in terms of Alvarez, so I'm not sure. But I think Alvarez will definitely start. Like it's not something that I'm worried about, you know. So I've heard that Foden's definitely starting. So that's the only leak that we've gotten so far. Apparently Man City will actually rotate a little bit, but I'm not really sure. But yeah, anyways, I hope that's that. Answering questions. Why not Palmer first bench? I don't have Palmer, mate. I've got Colwell. Simicast for Dan Burn with one free transfer. Yeah, I think that's a great move. 1 minute left, guys. Make your moves. Is Arch on pens? I think so. Is the deadline locked? What is going on? Wow, it is locked. My clock is definitely not calibrated correctly. Right, well, that is it for this game week, guys. I don't even notice. How about Gusto? Will he return or not? No, I think James is already fully fit, so I think Gusto's minutes just are very, very dicey, so it's time to move on. Thank you so much to dislike button. I'm also confused to start Gordon or Palmer. I mean, I went Gordon in the end, but I think I probably would have gone Palmer if I had Gordon and Palmer. And yeah, thank you guys so much for joining the stream. Apologies, I can't do my best to answer, for example. I mean, a question like, for example, let's say Taylor, Gabriel, and Byrne. I mean, they're all pretty average this week, you know, as picks. You know, we don't have huge expectations for them. So really, you're just hoping for luck to go your way, because I think it's very hard to call that Newcastle Arsenal fixture. And then also Burnley. I mean, they've been a shocking team so far, but they're a home team, so it's been close. Early deadline's a killer. Yep, thank you guys so much. Thank you to all the members who've actually been participatory to the chat. Thank you for all the donations, especially Domenico as well this stream. Really appreciate it. Went to Dingler over Palmer. Hopefully that works out for you as well, Vinay. Good luck to you, Alan. Good luck to everyone else on the stream. And hope you guys have lovely green arrows. And I will probably be jumping off soon. Ben Taylor says, with Anthony Taylor getting demoted, Chelsea might stand a chance. Don't you think FPL content creator over 80k subs jinx the best player to buy most game week? What do you mean? You think they're giving you bad advice? I don't know. I mean, I don't really believe it. Are you saying that because you think that they're trying to do better than you and therefore giving you bad advice on purpose? I don't think people are trying to give bad advice on purpose, if I'm honest. If it's, I mean, if for an FPL content creator, right, it's more beneficial if you're doing good. And if you're doing good, you're probably giving out good advice, if that makes sense. You know, respective to the season. Sometimes you might just get unlucky, and that's just FPL, the nature of the game and nature of football and nature of just sort of betting on sort of independent results, like sporting results. Nice to see someone from Indonesia in the chat. But yeah, I mean, I don't think people are intentionally giving bad advice. That's my opinion. I don't think there's a conspiracy theory. Hopefully I'll be giving good advice when I'm at 80k subs, and hopefully I get to 80k subs at one point in time. There is, for me, I think FPL has one of the most insane amount of sort of luck attributed to doing well in the game. Thank you, Leanne, as well. Hope you're doing well. I know you've been killing it lately, so nice to see you around too. Hope you're doing good. Tebo, thank you very much. But yeah, as I said, so I think if I grow as a channel, my advice won't change. I'll try to do my best. David Monday, FPL Scout member, Captain Salah. I mean, there's nothing really wrong with captaining Salah. He's got a good fixture as well. It's Luton Town, but it's away from home. I just think Haaland with a week of rest. I mean, why not? Focal stream has ended, so you're here. I'm a little bit jealous, John. But no, I think both you and Leanne are also sort of Focal viewers, so I hope you guys enjoyed Focal stream. But yeah, I really appreciate your support. Everyone who's actually been a part of the streams. Not too much to talk about, unfortunately, today, just because I think a lot of people were just dealt with really bad decisions, and not to mention that this is one of those weeks where you want to roll your transfer because you don't have any great upside moves. I did have an upside move in terms of Lamptey to Simicast, but beyond that, really not too much for me. Leanne, 5k to 16k. I'm catching up, but obviously I hope you continue to do well. So I hope you continue to surge up there again. And thank you, Henry, as well, always for being on the stream. Thank you for your time, DJ Nature. I'll probably be logging off now. It's time I get some rest. Unfortunately, I've not been able to sleep too much. Had some pretty serious internal reporting deadlines at work, and as a result, I'm pretty tired. But take care and enjoy your game week. Hope you guys have green arrows. And what's my one little punt for the week that I want to work out? I just hope Anthony Gordon scores. Apologies to everyone else. Holland benched. Are you being serious? Or are you just trolling me? Now I need to actually check. Thank you, Leanne. Appreciate that. Yeah, okay, it doesn't seem like Holland's benched. But you have successfully managed to scare me, so I appreciate that. And now I will head off to get some rest. Do I have a league? I do have a mini league actually. Let me post that. Anthony Gordon 25 game suspension. Let me just quickly get the league code. Actually, I don't know if Henry, if you happen to have the league code to hand. I will have it. Just give me 1 sec. Let me just quickly find that one. I think it's DJV XXX. So I'll just put it in the chat before I log off. This is the mini league code. I found it. I think we pinned it on the FPL chat channel. But yeah. All right. Take care, guys. And good luck.